The rain wouldn't stop. Pine River had turned into a raging monster, swallowing everything in its path. Single Dad Cole Harrington never expected to become a hero that stormy afternoon. While most people stayed indoors, Cole jumped into the furious water to save a complete stranger, a young woman named Elena who was fighting for her life against the deadly current. Exhausted and freezing, he dragged her to safety, barely making it out alive himself. The next morning, Cole woke up to the smell of fresh coffee in his kitchen. There she was, Elena, standing barefoot in his old flannel shirt, smiling shyly as she poured him a mug. "Thank you for saving my life," she said softly. "I didn't know where else to go." With his curious 8-year-old daughter Lily peeking from the hallway, Cole had no idea this soaked stranger from the river would completely change their quiet little world. Sometimes the river doesn't just take things away. It brings beautiful surprises home instead. The rain had been hammering the valley for 3 straight days, turning the usually lazy Pine River into a snarling beast of brown water and debris. Cole Harrington stood on his back porch, coffee mug in hand, watching the torrent churn past the edge of his property. The old wooden cabin he'd inherited from his parents sat just far enough back to feel safe, but close enough that the roar of the river filled every quiet moment. At 34, Cole had learned to live with the noise and the silence inside the house. His wife, Sarah, had died 4 years earlier in a car accident on the slick county road that hugged the river's bend. Since then, it had been just him and Lily, his 8-year-old daughter, who had her mother's bright green eyes and a stubborn streak that could outlast any storm. "Daddy, the river's mad again," Lily said from the doorway, clutching her stuffed bear, Mr. Whiskers. Her pajamas were dotted with little ducks. "Yeah, baby. Mad as a wet hen." Cole edged closer, the rope burning against his waist as the current tested it. Debris slammed into his shins, branches, rocks, God knows what. 10 feet away now. 5. "Reach for me." She tried, but her fingers slipped. The log rolled. She went under. Cold dove. The world turned to churning brown chaos. He kicked hard, lungs burning, hands groping blindly. His fingers brushed fabric. He grabbed and pulled with everything he had. They broke the surface together. She gasped and coughed, clinging to him like a lifeline. He wrapped one arm around her waist and used the other to haul them toward shore, fighting the pull that wanted to drag them both under. The rope went taut. Voices shouted from the bank. Hands reached out, ranger, strangers, someone with a stick. They dragged the woman up first, then Cole. He collapsed on the muddy bank, chest heaving, rain mixing with river water on his face. She was alive. Shivering violently, lips blue, but breathing. Paramedics arrived minutes later. Cole waved them off when they checked him. "I'm fine. Take care of her." He caught her eye as they loaded her into the ambulance. She mouthed something, "Thank you," before the doors closed. Cole drove home soaked to the bone, muscles screaming. Lily met him at the door with wide eyes. "Daddy, you're all wet." "River decided to give me a bath," he said, forcing a grin. He changed, made the promised pancakes, read her 2 extra stories, and fell into bed like a man who'd been hit by a truck. The next morning, sunlight filtered weakly through the clouds. Cole woke to the smell of coffee. He blinked, confused. He hadn't set the timer. Lily couldn't reach the machine yet. He padded down the hallway in sweatpants and an old t-shirt, heart picking up speed. The kitchen light was on. There, standing at the counter in one of his old flannel shirts that hung to her knees, was the woman from the river. She had a mug in her hands, steam rising. Her dark hair was damp, combed back with her fingers. A nasty bruise bloomed across her cheek, and scrapes marked her arms, but she looked steady. Calm, even. She turned when she heard him. Her eyes, deep brown, intelligent, met his without flinching. "Morning," she said softly. "I hope you don't mind." The door was unlocked, and I needed to warm up. And say thank you properly. Cole stood frozen in the doorway. His first instinct was to grab Lily and get her somewhere safe, but the little girl was still asleep down the hall. This woman didn't look dangerous. She looked lost. "How did you find my house?" he asked, voice rough from sleep and the beating his throat had taken yesterday. She set the mug down carefully. "The ranger who helped yesterday. He knew you. Said you lived right on the river. Gave me a ride after they released me from the hospital. I told him I had nowhere to go. My car's gone, washed away with my backpack. Phone's dead. Wallet, somewhere in the river, I guess." She offered a small, wry smile. "Name's Elena Voss. I was hiking the ridge trail when the storm hit harder than expected. Slipped near the overlook." Cole rubbed the back of his neck. "Cole Harrington. And you're welcome. But, standing in my kitchen at dawn is a hell of a way to say thanks." Elena glanced around the modest space, the kids' drawings on the fridge, the single dad chaos of mismatched dishes and a half-finished puzzle on the table. "I didn't mean to intrude. I can leave. I just, after almost dying, everything felt too loud out there. Your porch light was on. It felt safe." Lily's voice floated down the hall. "Daddy? Pancakes?" Cole's protective instincts flared. "Stay put for a second," he told Elena, then went to get his daughter dressed and settled with cereal in the living room, cartoons on low. When he returned, Elena was still there, but she'd poured him a mug of coffee and set it on the table. "I'm not crazy," she said quietly. "Or dangerous. I'm a freelance photographer. Was shooting storm images for a magazine assignment. My gear's gone, but I have a contact in town who can wire me money. I just need a few hours to figure out a bus or something. If it's too weird, I'll wait on the porch." Cole studied her. There was exhaustion in her posture, but also a quiet dignity. No panic, no demands. Just honesty. "River almost took you yesterday," he said finally. "Least I can do is let you dry out and eat something. But my daughter's here. She comes first. You scare her, you're out." Elena nodded. "Understood. I like kids. Had a little brother once." They ate breakfast together, simple eggs and toast. Lily eyed the stranger curiously but warmed up when Elena asked about Mr. Whiskers and promised to draw a picture of the river when it's happy, not mad. By midday, Elena had borrowed Cole's phone to call her editor. Help was coming, but the roads were still dicey, and the nearest bus wouldn't run until tomorrow. Cole went to work, leaving Lily with his neighbor Mrs. Alvarez for the afternoon, a retired teacher who adored his girl. When he got home that evening, Elena was on the porch swing, wrapped in a blanket he'd left out, sketching something in a notepad she'd found. She looked up. "Your daughter drew the river monster. I added the hero dad." He chuckled despite himself. "Stay the night if you need. Couch pulls out. But tomorrow, we get you sorted." She didn't argue. That night, after Lily was asleep, they sat on the porch listening to the river settle back into its banks. Elena told him pieces of her story, nomadic life chasing shots of wild places, a recent breakup that left her wanting solitude, the storm that had other ideas. Cole shared less, but enough. Sarah's laugh. Lily's nightmares the first year after. The way the river had always been both comfort and reminder. "You risked your life for a stranger," Elena said softly. "Anybody would've." "No," she replied. "Not everybody." The next morning, she was gone before he woke. A note on the kitchen table, *thank you for the coffee, the couch, and the second chance. I left my editor's number. Call if the river ever needs photographing. *. Cole felt an odd pang. Relief mixed with something emptier. Life resumed. Work. School drop-offs. Quiet evenings. 3 days later, a package arrived. Inside, a high-quality print of a photograph. It showed the river at dawn, calm now, light glinting off the water like scattered diamonds. In the foreground, barely noticeable unless you looked close, was a man on the bank, him, reaching out. A handwritten card, asterisk the river gives and takes. Sometimes it brings people back. I'm in town for a bit, helping document the flood recovery for the magazine. Coffee sometime? My treat this time. Elena asterisk. Lily found the photo first. Is that you, Daddy? And the river lady? Cole smiled. Yeah, kiddo. That's us. He texted the number. They met at the little diner in town. Elena looked different, clean clothes, camera bag slung over her shoulder, bruise fading to yellow. Conversation flowed easier than expected. She asked about Lily's school. He asked about her favorite shots she'd ever taken. Weeks turned into months. Elena's assignment extended. She rented a small place in town but spent more and more evenings at the cabin, helping with homework, teaching Lily basic camera tricks, sitting with Cole on the porch as the river whispered its old stories. One evening, as summer heat finally chased the last of the flood scars away, Lily fell asleep on the couch between them during a movie. Elena glanced at Cole. I never planned to stay. But that morning in your kitchen, it felt like the river had washed me clean and dropped me exactly where I needed to be. Cole reached over and took her hand. I pulled you out once. Turns out you pulled me out too. From the quiet that was starting to feel too loud. The river kept flowing past the cabin, gentler now. Some days it still raged in storms, but the people inside had learned that even the wildest currents could bring unexpected gifts, second chances, new beginnings, and the quiet courage to let a stranger into your kitchen, and maybe, someday, into your heart.